Lions at Cardinals. Cardinals could very well be 2-0 in the season. Ended up having a big lead against Buffalo in Buffalo and really just let them come back in that one. All due respect to Buffalo. I'm not trying to take anything away from them, but trying to give the Cardinals a little bit of praise here. What is your matchup that matters heading into this game?
Well, after last week, it's got to be Aiden Hutchinson versus the Arizona
Woo!
offensive line.
Yeah.
Hutch just took advantage of a backup that was in there and like just manhandled him on against the
Yeah.
Bucks.
Yeah.
With Luke Gedeke out, it wasn't pretty, and somehow the Bucks still pulled it off. Baker did not get rattled. He deserves a ton of credit for that. But good God, look at Aiden Hutchinson's numbers: 41.2% pass rush win rate, leads the league. 17 pressures, leads the league. 45% pass rush win rate on third and fourth down, which is first among obviously his position group. And I think the stat that matters the most when it comes to him, because he is the one that is killing drives for this Detroit defense. And again, I think it's also a testament to the fact that the Lions brought in DJ Reader. You have DJ Reader and you have Ali McNeil, who has been a consistently underrated player on that interior along the defensive line. That are both of those guys are just eating up space. They're getting pressure themselves. And then that is opening things up for Aiden Hutchinson, because you cannot afford to double team him all the time when we have those guys on the interior. You now have James
Yeah.
Houston on the opposite side. The Lions look like they're going to have Marcus Davenport, who practiced fully this week. We're going to see. But at the end of the day, this comes down to, can you block Aiden Hutchinson? Can you get in the way? And teams have been able to do it, but it's not easy.
Yeah. It's what I was so impressed with Aiden is the counter spin move that he has
It's so quick.
is
It's so quick, Jeff.
it's so good. And the Lions, again, I broke this down in a little bit more detail in the trenches episode when me and Ollie Conley were sort of talking about it and in awe of what Hutchinson's able to do. The Lions align him in more of like this wide seven type of
Uh-huh.
alignment, even if there's no tight end there. And the reason why is because it gives you more of a straight line path to the quarterback. So it sort of mitigates a little bit of lack of flexibility that Hutchinson
Bend
might
and
have
yeah.
around the arc.
Hmm.
But it also, the underrated part of doing that is, especially if you put a three technique defensive tackle to that side of the field and the three technique immediately just goes into the guard, that means that the offensive tackle is truly on an island against Hutchinson.
Against
And if he's
Hutchinson.
coming from a wider angle, that means he will have more of an opportunity to attack with an inside counter. And so he will come straight at you like a bat out of hell with these crazy fast, violent hands. And you as an offensive tackle, you're just trying to beat him to the landmark. And then all of a sudden, the second you do, you go, all right, cool. Let me get hands on him. And Hutchinson goes, all right, I'm going to the outside. Just kidding. Here's the spin move. And you go, and you're just like left grasping at straws. And look, backup quarterback a backup offensive tackle last week at Justice School that he was going up against. So yeah, it wasn't the toughest of competition, but this week, to your point, him as a game wrecker in a matchup that matters, will go up against Kelvin Beachum or Jonathan Williams. Both those guys have played right tackle Jonah Williams, excuse me, for the Arizona Cardinals. Is Beachum hurt? Did he get hurt? Did he get benched? I'm not sure, but it's either one of those two guys. Neither of them have graded out well so far this season. Beacham's at a 63.0. Williams is at a 68.8, although Williams has been the better pass blocker through a smaller sample size, just 22 snaps at right tackle. So that is going to be a big time matchup no matter what, even if you go, oh, he didn't play anybody last week. You watch the film. He could be disruptive against any offensive tackle. So I think that's when you got to watch out for, no doubt about it. My matchup that matters is Kyler Murray, just overall, versus the Lions defense.
Yeah.
Specifically because if Kyler plays the way that he played this past week, Cardinals can beat any team in the NFL. Simply put. And the reason why I believe that is because of how he played outside of structure.
Mm-hmm.
When Kyler was outside of structure, so I sorted it for passes with an above 3-second time to throw. So that's really like, if you're above 3 seconds, chances are you're not still in the pocket because somebody's going to beat their offensive tackle within 3 seconds. On passes where that time to throw is above 3 seconds, last week he had 2 touchdowns, 3 big time throws, 95.7 passing rate. He was unbelievable in those situations. Now, is it always going to be that good? No, probably not. But That's the magic of Kyler Murray that we saw back in 2021 was he was an MVP candidate. And if we're seeing that still now, he can put up points with anybody. I think this game between the Cardinals and the Lions is going to be a shootout. I really do.
Yeah,
I think the Lions have done better at, they've done better at making their defense a little bit better. But unless Hutchinson, like you said, is like truly dominating and getting Kyler Murray on the ground more than a few times in this game, I think there's going to be some fireworks. I think that it could be a, 30 plus scoring performance for whoever wins this game, maybe like a 33-28 final score, something like that. And if Kyler's working the magic that he was working last week outside of the pocket, it's going to be tough to stop him. So that's definitely my matchup that matters. But what's your plus factor in this one?
Yeah, I mean, that puts also just so much stress on the back levels of the defense and this Lions defense. I mean, you're going to have Brian Branch back there, and I think he's going to matter a whole lot when it comes to making sure that you're covering these receivers and blanketing them for longer than 3 seconds, which isn't something that you should be able to do. But on the other side of the ball, Trev, I'm so close to really thinking that Jameson Williams is for real this time. I'm so close. I'm so close. Right. I know. I want it to be true. Like, please be clear. I want to be clear here. I want it to be true. I want Jameson Williams to be the guy that they brought him in to be. I want him to be that guy that can just blow the doors off of any defensive back that he goes against, to blow the doors off of this offense in particular, to stretch this offense down the field. And then it opens up so much more for the guys underneath. And it means that Amon-Ra St. Brown isn't doing it all on his own. And then you also have Sam Laporta and you have Jahmyr Gibbs. And like, this would just be the most fun offense under Ben Johnson if this is for real. And Jameson Williams is the Lions leader in receiving yards. He's got 200 of them so far. Second best in the NFL. But all of these have come on explosive plays. It hasn't been a ton of work. It's just come on these gadget kind of explosive plays. But that is all you need from Jameson Williams, because again, you have all those other guys that kind of complete and round out what is an incredibly hard offense to really key in on, because they can go in so many different directions, often with the same players. I mean, Jahmyr Gibbs, not just a running back. You've got him, get him in space, watch him do his thing. But then you also have David Montgomery, by the way, who's a bowling ball up the middle. And then you have Sam Laporta, who is a serviceable blocker, and then one of the best pass catching tight ends, especially we saw in his rookie year last year, which was absolutely insane. So there's so many different things that this offense could do if you also have the deep threat, and that is Jameson Williams. So is he for real? I think if 2 games, I'm right there. 3 games, and I'm all in. I'm balls to the wall on this.
Yeah, look, it's hard to not watch what he's been able to do for this Lions offense already and not just really want to buy into everything that's possible. I don't think it's come together yet, but I think it absolutely can. We've had people in the chat that are saying that, correctly saying Jonah Williams, he's on IR right now, so he's at least missed 4 games with a knee injury. So it is Kelvin Beachum who's playing at that right tackle spot. So it'll be Beachum versus Aiden Hutchinson for this game. My plus factor in this one is Jared Goff versus the blitz, because we've long talked about who Jared Goff is under pressure, and it hasn't been better this year. We saw last week Bowles, who likes to pressure quite a bit. Bucks, have the most blitzes of any team in the league at 44. They had 22 last week. It gave Jared Goff some fits. He was really, trigger shy, if you will, on making sure that passes were getting where they needed to go when they needed to go there. He was just very hesitant. And I think blitz was a big reason for that. Cardinals under Jonathan Gannon, 7th most blitzes versus the pass this year at 26. So this is still a team that also blitzes quite a bit. Goff just a 42.5 passing grade against the blitz when he was playing Tampa last week. So this remains an issue for him. If you can pressure him and get him rattled, he does not like that. And in particular, something that was of note, in my opinion, he didn't even really give his guys a chance last week when he was blitzed. Right, there were a couple of opportunities. Like I think about I can't remember what the exact situation of the game was, but there was I don't remember if it was a screen or if it was just a pass to the flat that he had Jahmyr Gibbs there, and there was just an overload blitz, and there were more players in the backfield than Goff was ready for, and he just, boom, threw it in the ground immediately. Like, he's like, okay, that play's dead. We're not going for it. And there's something to that, right? If him and Ben Johnson kind of have an agreement where it's like, hey, let's live to fight another down. We're not going to put the ball in harm's way at all whatsoever. That's just what we do here. Okay, I guess he's just sort of listening to the game plan. But, like, you got to give your dudes a shot in the NFL. You got to be able to pass the ball to them. You don't want to quite go full Will Levis with it, but you've got to give your guys a chance to make plays, especially when your best playmaker is in Jahmyr Gibbs. And I felt like Goff was hesitant to even do that last week. So we'll see if it's a little bit different this week. He should still see plenty of blitzes going up against the Cardinals. So that is a plus factor in this one. If Goff can play a little bit better against the blitz, if he's more confident in his hot reads, all that good stuff.